Welcome back. You're watching the opening trade. Now let's talk about Muthoot Finance, where again results were indicating a stable quarter. Third quarter actually was facing a lot of disruptions, liquidity issues. NBFCs again were actually having a tough time. Now looking at the numbers again, the company produced a net profit which was largely flat versus last year. Let's try and understand more details on the results and the trend going forward from the management, Mr. George Alexander Muthoot, who is now joining us. Mr. Muthoot, good morning. And let me first put this question. The numbers are out there, result is out there. Let me ask you now this question. Third quarter was actually about disruption, lot of liquidity issues in the market again. From that perspective, when I look at loan book, it's almost flat versus last quarter, up 0.5% almost, 15% up versus last year. And NIMs have compressed by 40 basis points versus the last quarter. So what was the trend on funding cost? Is this something which was just a third quarter event, and the fourth quarter you are again going to improve your NIMs? And also in the loan book, what are the early trends emerging out? And also third quarter, what are the moving parts there?
So thank you. In first quarter and second quarter, the gold loan growth was extremely good. We were right on track of progress. But in September, end of September, the NBFC crisis hit us, and therefore we had to consciously reduce our loan growth. So we reduced our growth, and we de-grew by about 1,000 crores in the first 2 months of last quarter, that is October, November. Thereafter, the crisis also panned out, and maybe prices came out okay, and then we started growing. So December, January, we are seeing growth, and that is the reason for the flat growth in AUM in quarter 3. Quarter 4, we should see an uptick, and end of the year, we should see a year-on-year growth of 15%. We would have grown 20% had it not been for the NBFC crisis which hit us in quarter 3. So we should see that. Regarding the margins, it is flat, not rather the profit which is flat is also because our cost of funding had gone up last quarter because the money market rates also went up. Now it is almost stabilized. At one point we were borrowing it, rather we took money from the money market at 9.75 in October, but today the rates have come down, and we are getting it at about 7.9 rates. So it can still go down further also, or maybe in this range. So things have evened out, things are better now. The money market is okay, and growth is also there. We see growth happening in these 2 months, and so we should end the quarter on a better note, certainly a better note than Q3.
Right, sir. Just to reiterate, you have raised the lending rates by 100 basis points. Should we believe that NIMs are going to improve in the fourth quarter itself, or in the first quarter of the next financial year? So how's the earnings growth outlook looking to you?
So our NIMs, which are good in first and second quarter, came down in third quarter. But the impact of the increase which we did will kick in by fourth quarter. So fourth quarter we should see the NIMs being the same as what it was earlier. So we should see it better, or rather better than Q3 next quarter. So growth profit also should be a tad better in the next quarter.
Right, Mr. Muthoot, we would have loved to ask you more questions, but we are running out of time. So all the wishes to you for the fourth quarter, and thanks a lot for coming on the show. Third quarter was tough, but again Muthoot has managed, the company has managed to sail through third quarter with almost a flattish profit performance, no major disruption there. Fourth quarter is looking better as the management was guiding to us. From Muthoot, now let's talk about Cipla, where again it was